Hello students, welcome to the new session of BM 122. So today we will be learning about foreign direct investment, that is FDI. So what does this foreign direct investment means? So foreign direct investment is when a company involves or takes the control of the ownership in a business entity in another country. Like for example, if a foreign company from USA is interested to take part or to invest in Indian company, or also takes the ownership, like it takes the ownership or the whole of ownership to operate the business of Indian company. So this is how the foreign direct investment works. That is, they can either directly invest in another country's any of the business, or they can start a business. Okay, and with the FDI, with the foreign direct investment, the foreign companies are directly involved in the day-to-day operations of the other country. For example, if an American company is having an direct investment in Indian company, then what happens, they can directly involve in, like, in all the day-to-day operations, all kind of business. They will be involved in all kind of business activities of the another country. Okay, this means that they aren't just bringing money with them, but also knowledge, skills and technology. Actually, in direct investment, they will be investing in foreign direct investment. What we mean, they will be investing a huge money in the another nation to operate the business. So their money, the foreign currency, will be flowing to the country. For example, if we take the as I said, the example of in America with India, then American company is investing in Indian company. So there is an company called A in India, and there is an investor from America. So that business person want to invest in Indian company called A. So what he will be doing, he will be investing a large number of large amount of dollars in India, and by which the foreign currency, the foreign exchange will be improving. At the same time, since the foreign investor have the all control, or the ownership is also with him, there will be a huge portion of the huge percentage of ownership associated with the investor. So what happens, it is not only the money that is flowing from America to India, it is the skills, the technology, all those the technological advancement from the another nation, the developed nation America, will be flowing to our country. So it also adds value, not only by increasing the foreign exchange or foreign currency, or development in the economic means, there will be development in the means of the skills we gain, the technologies we adopt, like the knowledge will be transferred. So this is how the foreign direct investment will be helping the other nation. Okay, generally FDI takes place when an investor establishes foreign business operations or acquires foreign business assets, including establishing ownership or controlling interest in the foreign company. So there can be many ways by which the FDI takes place, like either through by investing money, or can purchase the assets, or can hold the ownership. Like these are the ways by which the person can hold the like can come and invest in the another nation. So where is this FDI made? The foreign direct investments are commonly made in an open economist that have skilled workforce and growth prospect. Okay, FDI is not, as I told, FDI not only brings the money, but also it brings the skills, knowledge and the technology. Okay, and now we'll see the FDI concept of India. FDI is an important monetary source for Indian economic development. The economic liberalization started in India in the wake of 1991. As we know, the LPG, the in the 90s is termed as the LPG period, or it is the time which liberalization, privatization and globalization happened. That is, LPG stands for liberalization, privatization and globalization. So that is the time which the global trade, the international trade barriers were removed, open trade came into existence, open and free trade came into existence. So during this time the FDI got more prominent and accepted. The India in today is a part of top 100 club on the ease of doing businesses, and globally ranks number 1 in the Greenfield FDI ranking. Okay, So there are greenfield ranking, brownfield ranking and all. So India stands first position in the greenfield ranking. So what are the major routes or ways by which the FDI can come into India? So in India there are two major routes, that is an automatic route and the another is the government route. So there are certain sectors for which the automatic route can be practiced, and for the government route is like for the government route there will be strict government rules and regulations that have to be followed, and prior approval from the government of India have to be taken for the investment in India. That is any other nation want to invest in India. So in certain of the governmental areas, or I will tell you which are the sectors if an if an investor from any other nation want to invest in the agricultural areas, or like there are certain areas in which they want to invest, that particular sectors I will discuss. So there are initially we need to understand there are two major routes by which the FDI enters into India. So the major two areas are automatic route and the government route. So what is this automatic route? Automatic route means the non-residents or Indian company does not require prior node of the RBI or government of India for the FDI. That is, for example, if an NRI of India, like who is a citizen of India, but he lives in another nation, that like for being a resident for many years, but he was basically from India, or like an NRI, like a non-resident of India, we call the non-resident of India, or any other Indian company which is being operated in any other nation, you want to invest in India, they can directly without any government approval or without any approvals from the RBI can directly invest into the country home, the India. And we need to understand that since it is all kind of money transaction, the RBI is involved in this. RBI and the government looks into all the matters of this financial transactions. It is because the money flowing from another nation will be coming to the RBI, will be flowing through RBI. So RBI will be the major mode through which the foreign currency will be exchanged and all. So in the automatic route, like from where we can collect the FDI, that is the non-residents of India, or non-residents, the NRIs and the any other Indian companies. Now through the government routes, so which are the who all can invest in India through government routes? The government's approval is mandatory, and the company will have to file an application through the foreign investment facilitation portal. There is a portal called a foreign investment facilitation portal, which facilitates the single window clearance. The application is being forwarded to the respective ministry. If they want to invest in the agriculture sector, or food sector, or industrial sector, manufacturing sector, hospitality, service, tourism, like it deals with the investment will be in any sector. So they have to take a prior approval from the respective ministry, which will approve or reject the application in consultation with the Department for Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade, DPIIT, and the Ministry of Commerce. The DPIIT, that is the Department for Promotion and Industry of Internal Trade, will issue a standard operating procedure, that is SOP, that is standard operating procedure for the processing of application under the existing FDI. So for all others other than the NRIs or any other Indian company, if they want to invest in India, to directly invest in India, they have to get the prior permission from the government of India, from the respective ministry. They have to submit an SOP. Like all these things are mandatory. Other than the automatic route is available only for NRIs and Indian companies. Okay. Now we will see the sectors which under the automatic, the full percentage automatic, which are the sectors. So the major sectors are agriculture and animal husbandry, air transport services, like you can see all those listed, the infrastructure company in securities market, the insurance, like 100% for the agriculture, animal husbandry, air transportation, automobile components, automobile, biotechnology, broadcast, like it's been classified as a greenfield and brownfield. You have to check all those things, like based upon the greenfield. Then infrastructure companies, insurance, medical devices, pension, petroleum, and power exchanges. So there are certain percentages also given. 100% for the medical devices, that it is not required. For agriculture and animal husbandry, like for these things the automatic entry is allowed. Now we'll see which are the government sectors in which the investment are accepted. The banking and public sector, broadcasting content service, core investment companies, that is the investment companies, food product retail, the mining and mineral, multi-brand retail trading, print media, and the newspapers, periodical, like all those things, satellites and all. These are the government routes through which 100% FDI is being accepted. And there are percentages given. In the banking and public sector, 20% is accepted. Broadcast sectors, 49% is accepted. Okay. Now there are certain areas where FDI is prohibited. The investment from other nations in certain sectors are not allowed. That is in the automatic energy of India, the atomic energy generation, energy generation area, the FDI is prohibited. No FDI will be accepted. Then any gambling, the gambling and all those things. Then lotteries, then Nidhi company, investment in chit funds, plantation activities. That is, although there are many exceptions like horticulture, fisheries, tea plantation, viticulture, but there are certain areas, that is the indigenous, the exotic species are being restricted. Then housing and real estate, trading in TDR, and cigarettes and all those things. Here you can see the picture. TDR means the trading in transferable development rights. TDR means transferable development rights. Okay, so these are the sectors which the FDI is not accepted, that is prohibited. FDI is prohibited in the lottery business, gambling, chit funds, in the Nidhi companies, the TDR stands for transferable development rights, then real estate, manufacturing of the cigarettes and all those things. Okay, and atomic energy, railway operations and all. The Indian railway is a monopolistic like it runs with a monopolistic concept because they don't have any other competitors. It is all fully owned by the government. Now see what are the FDA status of India. What are the FDA status of India? In terms of FDI, India is doing great. In 2021-22 report, like if you check, it is 62% higher as compared to the corresponding financial year. You can see the FDA inflow in the India from the April to December was in $67.5 billion, and in terms of equity also it is growing by 68%. The FDI reform 2.0, you can see in the defense area, airlines area, brownfield areas, like these are the areas where the 100% FDI is being accepted. Okay, so which is the state which is having highest FDI, which is the state in which the FDI is being more? Yes, it's Karnataka. There are some states like Karnataka, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. These are the and Delhi. These are the states in which the FDI is being there is a huge number of investors. There is a large number of investors in these states because most of the agricultural India being an agrarian country, the processing and agricultural areas lied in all these states: the Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, UP and all those things, Delhi and all those areas. So this is the reason by which these states are having large number of FDI, and Karnataka stands first position in terms of FDI received in 2021. So Karnataka was the top recipient state during the first month of financial year of 2022 with the 31% share of the total FDI equity inflows, followed by Maharashtra, then Delhi. Okay. Now tell me, who formalized the FDI policy in India? Who is the authority to formalize FDI policy in India? Yes, it is the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. They are the nodal department for the formulation of the policy of the FDI, government's FDI. It is responsible for the maintenance and management of the data inwarded to the foreign, that is regarding to the foreign direct investment, which deals with the Indian investment, and it is based upon the remittances reported monitored by the Reserve Bank of India. As I told, all these foreign exchange transactions will be like the medium through which the foreign exchange transactions or the foreign currency will be flowing into the nation, to the country, will be through RBI. That will be fully monitored by the RBI. So who formulates the FDI policy in India? That is the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. That is a nodal agency. So this is all about the FDI policies in India. So we have seen all those things. The foreign direct investment, what is foreign direct investment, we have seen like what are the methods by which an investor can come and invest in a country. That is two modes, that is automatic and the government mode. So which are the in automatic, which are the areas, in government area which are the areas which then again the FDI is prohibited in some, and India's FDI status, the current status, and which state stands first in the FDI acceptance. All those things have been discussed. So this is all about the FDI policy of India, and I hope the concept is clear to you all. If you feel any difficulty, let me know, and thank you all.